Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello guys, this is Sayyid Muhammad Ahmed Hashmi and today we are going to talk about Critical Discourse Analysis CDA. Before starting up this video, I request you to please subscribe to my channel and do not forget to press the bell icon button. In this way you would be able to get the notifications of my latest videos. Okay, so the question is, what is Critical Discourse Analysis? In Critical Discourse Analysis, its founder, the Ruth Woodick, Norman Fairclough and many others, they try to find out the power relations in the society, that how language influence the power relations, how language works in the social settings, how language works in political settings, and how the media groups they control your mind, how they influence your personality, how they change your ideology. So these are the basic and main topics are dealt by critical discourse analysis. So we need to understand that what are its basic aims. The first one, that is the connections between the use of language and social and political context in which it occurs. Of course, we need to understand the use of language. When there is a political campaign, many of the political leaders, they are coming to the citizens and they do have debates, speeches, and they try to influence. They try to get the vote of every citizen. In this way, they try to use people for their benefit by influencing them, by making up their minds. This is what we call the political context and social context as well, that when we talk to anybody, for example, some of my friends are coming to me and they ask me that you need to come here and sit, and the other friend is saying that Ahmed, please come here and sit. The effect is different. Both of them, they are talking to me, they are instructing me to do something, but their way of talking, their word choice is different. In this way, in social setting, we also need to know that how the power relations are using languages to influence people, how the hierarchy of power and what are those inequalities which are not being addressed by the society. So CDA tries up to explore all those inequalities of power relations in the society. The second one, the issues which it addresses, the first is gender. You all know that 8 March in Pakistan, what happened up there? There was a slogan that is in Urdu, that Mera Jism Meri Marzi. What does that mean? You just need to know the minute choice of words, how the people come up with their linguistic choices. These choices, much clicking, it just affects you. You are compelled to think that what does this mean. So in this way, in gender inequalities, when there is a kind of gender inequalities, so CDA is there to address all these problems which are associated to gender. It tries to go back to those circumstances with which those word choices are coming up on the surface and they are influencing people. The next comes the ethnicity. It also addresses the problems of ethnicity, like in Pakistan, the Punjabians, they are Sindhian, the people from KPK, the people from Baltistan and the Kashmir region. So these are the different ethnic groups, their way of talking, their starters, how they end up their discussions, how they dress, how they walk, how they talk, how they sleep, how they live. All the things are different. How the language influence in developing the ethnic group identity. We also need to understand these kind of issues in CDA, critical discourse analysis. It also addresses the cultural differences and also come up with the consequences and the final product, that how the society is being shaped. This also is the field of CDA, critical discourse analysis. And then comes ideology. We also get to know about the ideologies, that what are those beliefs and how they are going to shape the society, how they are going to influence society, how they are going to change the society, how they affect the coming generations. So these all issues are related to critical discourse analysis, and how these both constructed and reflected in text. So the things which we discover in CDA are the written text, spoken text, like I am speaking, and when I try to write something and when we analyze that text, that is called the written text. That how they are constructed and how they are reflected, all these things which I just talked about, the political scenario, the social scenario, the power relations, the gender, the ethnicity, the cultural differences, the ideologies, belief system, your faith, all these things, if they are in spoken text or written text, we need to analyze using the models of critical discourse analysis. So the last one, some of the hidden and out of sight values, positions and perspectives. What do you think when somebody is coming to you and asking for a vote? What they basically want? They try to grab the power. It is not much easy that the people, what they are saying to you is all true. Okay, there are so many things which are working on a background, they are out of sight. So CDA tries to explore all those values, position and perspective which are working at the behind of all those ideologies, belief system, cultural identities, again cultural differences, ethnicity and gender as well. Okay, then comes some of the principles of CDA. We need to understand that what are those principles on which CDA works. The first one, social and political issues are constructed and reflected in discourse. Of course it does. In every country there are political campaigns, some of the parties are ruling upon the people, some of them are in opposition. So all the time there is a fight and they are, try to get the power. So this is what we try to discover, the first principle of the critical discourse analysis. The next one, the power relations are negotiated and performed through discourse. Exactly. Discourse is that key with the help of which power relations are working in just society, as I talked earlier. The third one, discourse both reflects and reproduces social relation. Exactly. If we talk about religion, religious parties are also supporting political parties and working with certain ideologies. We need to understand about those ideologies, that what would be the final product and what would they do after supporting their favorite political parties. And the last one, ideologies are produced and reflected in the use of discourse. Exactly. We read newspapers, okay, we watch TV news channels, so we need to understand the principles of CDA to get to know the truth. Okay, then comes doing critical discourse analysis. So the framing of the text, that how the text is being framed, how the news is being presented, and how the foregrounding is affected by backgrounding. What are those ideologies, those beliefs on the behalf of which the screen is being prepared. So this is what we call the foregrounding, that the thing which we are watching is quite different the thing which is working behind that picture. We need to understand CDA is there to explore these kind of backgrounding and foregrounding as well. So how the news, for example, when we are reading newspaper, if you read the news, same news in different newspapers, the wording would be different. Okay, the topicalization of the sentences would be different. The ideologies of different news groups which are working behind the back of that particular news, those are different, so their word choices are different. So the last one, that is the agent-patient relationship in discourse. That what are those choices which are being made by the writer as a subject, and who are the people who are under action, the objects or the things. We also need to understand the relationship between them. Okay, these were the doings of critical discourse analysis. Okay, critical discourse analysis and multimodality. We do not just frame the text, we do not just analyze the written text or spoken text, but many of the times you see in newspapers, when there is a news, there is also a picture up there. So we also need to analyze the videos, images, okay, pictures as well. So this is what we call the multimodality. Then comes the critical discourse analysis and identity. As I talked earlier about this, that we need to understand the ethnicity, cultural identity, the linguistic identity, how people are loyal to their country, the nationality, how the people are conceiving outer words, how, like we say, the linguistic theory of relativity, every person is perceiving the outer word differently because the belief system that is different. Person to person, these things vary. Folklores which are affecting the people's mind, how the personality is being groomed, their beliefs are being formed, their identity as an ethnic group, their identity as culture, or their linguistic identities are being formed, and they are affecting people. So these all things we also analyze in CDA. So the last one, we need to understand what are those methods and what are those toolkits with the help of which we can analyze written text, spoken text, images, videos. So the first one, that is the word order. What are those linguistic choices which are being taken and being made to influence people. The second one is the lexical style. What are those words which are repeated again and again, how they are influencing the people belief and ideologies. The third one, that is coherence, how the text is being joined, what are those events which have been described up there and how they are related. Coherence is about the relationship between the sentence, two sentences or more than sentences, and among the paragraphs. This is what we call coherence. We also need to understand how the text is being built. Okay, the next one, the topic choice. When there is a news, there is a kind of debate, there are topic sentences, we also need to analyze those topic sentences. This is our toolkit to understand the ideology and belief system. The last one, that is the speech acts, that the utterance which is being made with the help of actions. Utterance is being taken as an action in speech acts. How and what are the effects, what are the intentions, and what are the purpose of all these debates, all those political scenarios. In if the conversation is being done in social settings, we need to understand the purpose or intentions behind it. Okay, then comes the rhetorical figures. When there are certain speeches and debates or news, even there are repetitions, alliterations, stress patterns, intonational patterns, like we talk about the spoken text. All these are called rhetorical figures because they persuade and they try to excite the audience. The next one, syntactic structures. Of course, as we talked about that, we also analyze the textual structures, the syntactic structure about the written text. Then comes the turn takings. If there is a dialogue, what are those turns which the speakers are taking in order to complete their stances. Then comes the repairs. Repairs are very much important because when there are repairs, people sometimes they make repair intentionally and sometimes this is an intentional process. When there is an intention behind developing these repairs, and what are those junctures on which they try to turn again. As somebody is saying that that person has been murdered by that Suleiman. Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about the murderer. So he was talking about that particular person, that was Suleiman, and now he is repairing his own sentence, try to show up that he does not know. It means that there is a specific purpose or intention behind this repair. Then comes the hesitations. People do hesitate while they facing the people. We also get to know about those hesitations, that why they were hesitating. The last three items, turn taking, repairs, and hesitation, are to do with the spoken discourse. We know that all these things are there when there is a real situation. This was all about the introduction of critical discourse analysis, that how does it work and what are the basic principles and what are those doing which are being done while working with CDA. So thank you so very much for watching. If you really like my video, you need to subscribe to my channel, like and share my video. Thank you so very much.